The streets of Las Vegas might be dead, but poker is still live. Let's go. I cannot tell you all the videos I've seen on the internet lately about Vegas that no one's visiting anymore. It's a ghost town, and I gotta be honest, it's true. I saw it for myself. Cause on this Friday night in the middle of summer, the amount of pedestrians on the strip was close to none. It's kind of sad, to be honest. But let's just hope the poker in this town is still on the up and up though. Some people ask me, how do you determine where you're gonna play when you're in Vegas? Well, to answer that question, I kind of just look back on where I haven't played in a while. I always like new scenarios, and even though we've played at the Wynn many times before, it still feels like it's new to me since it's been that long in our rotation. So here we are, voila. And you guys are gonna like this one, I promise, because we got some dicey hands to go over and get into the biggest 2-5 pot of our lives. So let's get to it. When I pulled up, I noticed the poker room was more packed than the strip was, which was a good sign. They had 4 tables of 2-5 and a short list, which by us just waiting in line for our chips, a seat was available. We sit down with $1,500. That's the max here, and get started. About 15 minutes into the session, we win a small one with pocket fives, which wasn't that interesting, but it's a little foreshadowing to another pocket fives hand later. The very next shuffle after that pocket fives hand, we dramatically upgrade to pocket aces. All right, the best hand ever created. Let's make something happen. We're in the end of the gun, first to act, and nothing to do besides open. We throw out $20. That just seemed to be the standard open at this table, and whether it's $15 or $20, I don't care really. I just kind of go off of what others are doing. And it was 20 from what I've seen so far. The under the gun 1 cold calls the open, the cutoff does as well, and everyone else gets out of the way. So we go 3 ways to a flop, and it comes safe 9-4-2 with 2 diamonds. We have the ace of diamonds, which is always nice to have backdoor nut potential. We can go either way here, not much to really be afraid of besides sets, which can't always be afraid of monsters. So we decide to deny equity from whatever they may have and may get it down to heads up. We c-bet to $25. The under the gun 1 takes a look back at his cards, but decides to muck, and the cutoff makes the call. So we did get it down to heads up. I feel much better now, even more so when the turn is the deuce of clubs. The front door flush misses, and less chance he had a set of 2s, which now would be quads. Not impossible, because I've turned quad 2s before, but anyway, less chance of that. And if he does have a draw or top pair, we can get value from those holdings. So we continue, not very big, should have made it more, but we throw out $45. He asks if it was 50. The dealer confirms and says, nah, it's 45. He doesn't take long at all to call, which from experience is most likely a draw. So hoping for no diamond on the river, and it comes, and we get our wish. It's the 7 of clubs. Best card. Not only is it an undercard if he has top pair, the flush misses. So if we go with our read and we are correct that he's on a draw, betting out here doesn't make any sense. If he wants to win, he's going to have to bet, and we can just snap call. Because from his perspective and how we played it thus far, we can definitely have ace king, ace queen. So we check, hoping he bets big. But he doesn't, he snap checks it back. Knowing that we're best, we flip over our cards, and he goes to flip over his, and he flips over a hand I was not expecting. Oh wow. 10s? Pocket 10s, wow. Where is the rest of the pot? Jesus. Even the guy next to me agreed the pot should have been much bigger. A 3-bet from him, maybe pre-flop, then we may get sneaky and just call, or a 4-bet jam, getting it all in pre-flop, because he only had $500 to begin with. I don't know, wishful thinking. There was multiple opportunities for us to get it all in at some point. Moving on though, almost an hour later, we just haven't found anything of worth to play. Pretty card dead until we look down at this hand, ace queen suited in the big blind. There's an open from the end of the gun 1, a call from the button, the small blind gets out of the way, we're next to act, and maybe our tight image so far will get some credit, so we 3-bet to $115. Thinking everyone is just gonna fold and we're gonna get it through, or at worst get 1 caller. But no, the under the gun tanks for a while, the whole minute actually, and eventually calls. Then the initial razor calls 115. And the button getting an insane price comes along as well. Oh, this is not gonna be good. 4 ways to a flop in the worst position. Let's just hope for the best, I guess. The flop comes 10-10-9 with 1 heart. Not the most ideal board, but we have all the big overpairs here, aces, kings, and either of them cannot. As long as someone doesn't have a 10, we should be able to take it down with some aggression. So instead of checking and broadcasting to the table, I have what I have. We throw out a c-bet of $135. Action's on the tanker, and he thinks again, but thinks better of it and folds. The initial raiser, however, makes the call for $135, which is fine, but what isn't fine is the button raising to $535. Alright, it's apparent he has a 10. We put on a show, even though we know we're folding, and the under the gun 1 lets it go as well. If you didn't tell me your best hand, I would have paid you off. Yeah, exactly, I would have paid you off.
You call,
yeah.
You call, I have to call.
No, I know. I mean...
No, if you call before the flop, I'm gonna call.
Yeah. Alright, here's a little backstory of what just happened. As you heard, I said if you wouldn't have told me your favorite hand earlier, I would have paid you off. So alright, I'm still telling the story I had a big overpair, which no one knew at the time it was a lie, but about 40 minutes prior to that hand, C8 won a pot showing 10-9 suited and announced to the table that it was his favorite hand. It was a situation where he shouldn't have been in the hand, but got lucky, then told the guy that it was his favorite hand, and that's why he was in. I don't really remember the hand. Maybe he caught 2 pair or he backdoored into a straight, but he won and showed, saying he loves 10-9 suited. So even pre-flop, I kind of had a hunch of what he had closing the action, calling a bigger 3-bet. So now when he ended up raising on the flop, I knew he was strong. Even if he just smooth called the $135, I was shutting it down 100%. That's why he stood up and we dabbed each other, because he knew I remembered. So moral of the story and takeaway from all this, like I tell you guys all the time, pay attention to your surroundings, listen, and take mental notes. Cause say I did have aces there, I still fold even if he's smooth called. I'm folding if he puts any more money in the middle cause of what he shared earlier. Can't say I never give you guys any tips. I think that deserves a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel by now, go ahead and do that. I appreciate it. I wasn't upset about the hand, but what was salt in the wound, the very next hand, the flop was ace queen 4, 2 diamonds. Flop delay much? But on to this hand, and remember earlier what I said about foreshadowing with 5s? Well, here it is. About 10 minutes later, an orbit goes by. We're in the big blind again. The under the gun, who tanked forever last hand, he limps. And I've learned over the time playing with him, he liked to see a lot of flops. Whether he raised or anyone else raised, his VPIP was up there. So when action's on us, the small blind raised it up to 15. We decided to call, knowing the under the gun was going to come along as well. So it gave us a good price to set mine. We go 3 ways to a flop, and in the window, yup, a 5, baby. The small blind, pre-flop aggressor, checks. We decide to check and flow as well. Not too worried about anything. Like I said, the under the gun liked to put money in the middle, so we're gonna let him do that. He bets out $15, the small blind calls, and maybe if the small blind folded, we just smooth call and let the under the gun do his thing. But there are flush draws available and some things we can get value from, so we raise it up right here, right now to $55. Action's on the under the gun, and he's definitely a thinker. He eventually calls for $40 more. The small blind gets out of the way, so we're heads up now. And the turn is beautiful. It's the last 5 in the deck. Quads. Gains. I know it's not as cool as Wolfgang's bang, but still, gains. I don't know, maybe it can become a thing, who knows? Alright, let's get serious. We have quads, the second time we've turned quads. The last time we got paid. Can we do it again? What do we do though? Our opponent has $800 in his stack. My mouth is watering, kind of like a dog waiting for his owner to feed him. Looking over, peeking at his chips, I want them all. In order to get the max, we have to build a pot. And I would hate for it to check through if we were semi-bluffing with spades or a combo draw of some sort. we'd fire again. So we do and throw out 3 greens. And he goes into the tank again, and you guys can't see on the screen, he has blacks on the left side of his chips. And to my surprise, he reaches for those blacks. Oh my God, he's stacking them up like he's gonna put more money in the middle. Please do, please do, please do. And he does. Is this real? We have quads and get raised. What is happening? I have to compose myself. We have a decision to make. He only has a little under $400 behind. Is he pot committing himself? So many thoughts and what ifs are going through my head. If we jam and he snap folds, I'm gonna feel so dumb. If we smooth call and a bad river comes, do we jam or check and hope he puts the rest of it in? It's like no matter what, we have to be right to not feel like a total idiot. Before I make my decision, write down in the comments what you guys think. What would you do? With all that information I just gave, him raising us to 350, his remaining stack size, we're out of position. Did you guys write your guesses down? All right, good. We decide to just smooth call and pray no spade comes or an action killing card. Holding our breath, thinking about what we're gonna do based on what the river brings. And it's the king of hearts. It's a non-spade. And going with our story, waving the white flag, our combo draws miss. We check on over to him. Please don't make me show this hand checking the nuts. Might have to rack up and head to another casino if that happens. But luckily he puts in a chip and announces all in. Oh, thank God. We are now 2 for 2 and getting paid with quads. This time, not as much as the first, but still a big pot. Another hour goes by until this interesting one happens. We're in the big blind again. Seems like only getting involved in not the best positions tonight. But we look down at ace rag and similar situation. 3 players play. The guy to our left, new guy limps for $5. Small blind calls $3 more, and we just check our option. The flop comes ace, ace, 8 with 2 hearts. The small blind checks. We check as well. Just the fact we didn't raise and we're not too afraid of much on this board. Only one more ace out there. The under the gun checks as well, so the action checks through. No real doubt in our mind that we're behind. The turn comes off the 10 of diamonds, a total brick. The small blind checks again, and we can't check anymore, so we throw out a small $10 bet. The under the gun calls and the small blind folds, so heads up now, and the river is the jack of spades. Not too concerning. I think we got to go for value again, so we do and throw out $30. The action's on the under the gun, and he reaches for more chips than just 30. He puts in a 3x raise. I kind of would have rather have him put in a min click, because that's just how it felt. It almost felt like too proper, so to speak. Just a really annoying spot. This player didn't seem like the type to bluff, just from what I've seen so far. I check my suits to see which ones they are. I guess the ace of hearts is already out there, but just narrowing down possible hands he may have. And always remember, even in smaller situations, take your time. It's not against the rules to think. Yes, if you're taking a minute or two on every single decision, that would be really annoying, but take your time. I think about it for a bit longer and come to the conclusion that I don't think we're good ever. I mean, our kicker doesn't play. We don't really beat any value hands, just total air. He doesn't show, so we'll never know if we made the correct decision, but I feel pretty good about it. And even the European pro to our right said after the hand, your ace was no good. I was like, I didn't have an ace. Keeping all players guessing always. Poker players are such liars, aren't they? Don't trust them. Not a crazy hand, but just a thinker. It's hard to really know the dynamics without actually being there in person, but I try my best to explain as much as I can to make it so you guys are kind of there playing with me. I went for a small walk to brush my teeth because I had a meal prior, and when I came back 10-15 minutes later, no one was at my table. My chips were being counted by a floor person, and I was like, what happened? The fish walks away and then the table breaks? We still have more in us to play, so we move to another table and see what happens here. And maybe it was a good table draw, cause this is the hand of the night for sure. And I know it looks the same cause we're in the same seat, but I assure you it's a different table. So around 2 orbits into this new table, we look down at pocket nines in the small blind. There's an under the gun open to $10, a min click, and you know how I feel about min clicks. The button calls $10 and we're not having it. Not that it's just a min click, we're in the worst position and pocket nines doesn't play well post flop multi-way, so we put in a 3-bet to $50. The big blind folds, the original razor calls, and the button closing the action calls as well. We didn't get it heads up like we wanted, but it doesn't really matter because the flop comes in 9, we flop another set. It does come all spades, which is unfortunate, but we can't be afraid of them having a flush because it's hard to flop a flush in this game. We are first to act and no free cards here. We c-bet $45. The under the gun mucks right away. The button, on the other hand, does the opposite. He snap calls. I think if he had a flush, he would have thought about it a little bit longer. Can't neglect the fact that he can have the ace of spades, but we'll cross that bridge on future streets. The turns have been amazing to us thus far, and this turn is no different. No, we don't hit quads again, but we catch a full house. Now we hope he has a flush and he was trying to slow play. Let's build this pot, shall we? We keep our foot on the gas and continue for $135, going more than half pot action on our opponent, and he doesn't take too long before raising it up to $400. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, there's no way he has quads he wouldn't raise, and 10-9 is super unlikely. If he does, then we're just destined to double this man up. Kind of like the quads hand, we basically have the nuts and are getting raised. What do we do? Because this does not happen every day. It's almost the same. We're out of position and a lot of bad rivers can kill the action. If he has a flush, he'll hate another spade. And if the board pairs, that's not a 9, we're gonna hate it. So instead of smooth calling this time, we jam for our opponent's stack around $1,700 effective. We just gotta wait that split second and we avoid the snap call. Whew, what a relief. Small chance, but still weirder things happen. And my opponent was in shock with this move. He tanks and tanks and tanks. This was the longest tank we've ever had to wait for. Over 4 minutes of tanking. He gets up out of his seat, still doesn't know what to do. I'm just staring at the board, trying not to make any sudden movements, and I was pretty sure somebody was gonna call the clock. I mean, it was that long of a tank, but he eventually does make the call.
It's a call.
You have a flush?
Alright, good luck, guys.
I ask him, do you have a flush? Because if he does, he's drawing dead. He says no. I'm like, oh no, he has outs. I don't know what he has, but he has outs. Crap, do not do this to me. The river is a jack, which I don't know how I feel about it. Jack 10 suited is a possibility. We show, and he flings his cards across the table, ace 10 suited. Let's freaking go. Gains. The biggest 2-5 pot we've ever played, and it's coming our direction. We were definitely not out of the woods. He had outs, but bricked, and we take down an over $3,000 pot. Setting personal records on this Friday night, Saturday morning at the Win is a great feeling. We stacked that opponent, and after losing such a big pot, he was done for the night, and which sucked. Shortly after, we lose another player just from being late, I suppose. Not ideal playing 5-handed, but we go with it for about 30 minutes till another table breaks, and those players come and join us, so we get a full table yet again. And we play more and more hands. We aren't card dead by any means, but we just can't really build off that huge momentum swing we just had. So we give a few $100 back the last hour of play and decide to end the session there around 3 o'clock in the morning.
The streets of Las Vegas might be dead, but poker is still live. Let's go. Oh my God, that was an amazing session. I mean, it feels good to play normal again. 2-5. I know last few vlogs it's been 1-2 or was it 1-3. So 2-5, that's what I like. 2-5, 5-5, stuff like that, like middle stakes. That's me. And I mean, it started out a little rusty, but wow, massive hands. What was it, quads? Like you got quads and got paid, and then that that last one against that Asian guy, like older Asian man too. And all I was thinking was like, please don't get snapped off. I mean, he doesn't have 10 deuce. I mean, pocket 10s is very unlikely, but like, what could he have? I mean, maybe pocket 2s, maybe he snap calls with pocket 2s. But when he tanked for that long, I'm like, I'm good. And honestly, I was like, I don't even know if I want him to call. Like, I mean, I want the call. You know I want the call, but I just know he has outs. Like, he's not dead. There's so much music over here, and I better not be copyrighted right now because I'm going to be pissed. But yes, yeah, I don't even know where I can. Oh, that spear! Look at that. Turn around. Look at that. See, like, background a little bit. Hopefully over here is not too loud with music. But yeah, that I just, the longer he tanked, I was like, we're good. We're really good. And yeah, I don't even know how big the pot was. I think he had like 1,700 in his stack, and we covered. So, wow, that. I was kind of hoping. I was like, I hope he just has a flush and he's drawing dead, but he wasn't drawing dead. When he flipped over his cards, he had ace 10, and any ace, I mean, the last 10, any ace, last 10, or a 2, because obviously a 9 gives squads. But yeah, that was sick. I mean, we didn't play for too long. Been on the road for 8 hours, just here for a short weekend trip, but we're gonna make the best of it. I've seen so many videos online of people saying that streets are dead, like, and honestly, driving here, like to the Encore, it was like it's true. It kind of sucks. It's true. There was no traffic. I mean, it's Friday night, and there was no traffic to get here. It, like, you're usually bumper to bumper anywhere on the freeway, on the strip, no matter where you go, there's just people everywhere, like, crossing, especially like around the Bellagio area. Like, you know, people are crossing back and forth, and you can't even get in. You can't even, anyway, whatever. But yeah, it just sucks. But poker is live. It's still a thing, and hopefully it can still be a thing in this city, because I love coming here. I mean, yeah, we've lost a lot, but I mean, in the past, but now, tonight, we did phenomenal. I think we played okay too. I mean, there's a few spots where I was like, I don't know. Like, I puckered up a little bit. You know, I wasn't as aggressive as I should have been. Not calling 3-bets with like mediocre hands. I'm like, I don't know. It is what it is. But there's a few other hands too I played well. Like, when people raise, I'm like, they had it. Like, they just always had it. Like, I had top pair, and some guy raised, and he even told me afterwards, he's like, yeah, I had a set of 4s. I'm like, all right, bro, that makes sense. So, I don't know, I feel like we played good, and we won a lot of money. The numbers will be up here. I haven't had a win like that in a really long time, so it feels really good. But hope you guys worked out today. I did. As soon as we got here to the hotel, got a workout in, just some arms, and I think arms and calves, like things that I need work on, because I have freaking wingspan arms. Like, it kind of sucks having that long of limbs. Doesn't make you look that big. I mean, being as tall as I am kind of sucks. So that's what we did. It was quick, but still got it in. Hopefully you guys got it in. Always remember, you guys saw this, you woke up, you're alive. Man, that could have been all in one take, huh? Oh well, it's all good. But always remember, it's a blessed day. You guys woke up, you saw this. I'm Matty Ice. This is Gaines Poker. Oh, see, it doesn't even look that big. God damn it. Gotta get the right angle. There you go. See? It's all about the lighting, guys. Peace out.